Sis, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back because, baby, you made it through day 7. That is 1 week done. 1 week in the books of fasting. That's nothing to take lightly. I know for some of you guys, since I've had some personal conversations, this is the longest you've ever fasted. That's worth celebrating. Now, don't celebrate eating the wrong things now, but it's definitely worth celebrating. Like, by the time you get to the end of this month, imagine the transformation, imagine the change. So today, I just want to come to you with a brief message about not comparing yourself. And again, I know we hear this all the time, but this is just something that God has recently reminded me of and really just helped me through. So, if you don't know me, I'm a multi-passionate creative entrepreneur. Like, I'm just a multi-hyphenate. I have this community, I have a podcast, I have another business that I'm co-owner of. I have a clothing line that's right now not active, but I do still have it and whatnot. I help my mom with her YouTube channel. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But it's easy in this space, any space in life, but in this space to really start comparing yourself because everybody, at the end of the day, we're all kind of doing the same thing. We're just adding our own spin to it. And so you can have an idea like, oh, I want to start t-shirts. 1,000,001 people are selling t-shirts, so you can end up going down the rabbit hole and being like, oh my gosh, like their t-shirts look better. I like how their shirts are. Oh, wow, they sold out, or, whatever. In my case, I host retreats. I do workshops and everything. So in mixers as well. So between those 3 categories, there's always a ton of comparison. And so it's easy for me sometimes to get in my own head and be like, well, dang, like, is this really going to work? Is this really worth it? Sometimes you're just plowing away at something so long and you have to keep adjusting to the point where you're like, all right, maybe it's just not for me. But I just want to remind you that you are gifted and you have to keep your eyes on the prize with whatever God is leading you to. And I had to be reminded of that this week. One of my really good friends, she reminded me that I am gifted. I am talented. Like, what I do matters, and et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes you just need to hear it because when the encourager is always the one encouraging, like, who encourages them, And honestly, God does first and foremost, but he will also send people to do it in the flesh. So it's important that we keep our eyes on our own prize, run our race at our pace and have tunnel vision, because if God called you to do something, it's going to work out. If God called you to start something, he's going to give you the resources. The main thing is to not look to the left or right. And here's the thing. I'm not one of those people that's against muting people. Sometimes you got to mute some of your social media friends. It's no beef. You don't even have to tell them. Just do it for yourself. Just mute them. Go check on their content when you have the mental capacity to do so. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have to protect your peace, protect your mind at the end of the day. And since we are fasting, the warfare is going to be stronger. And the warfare starts in our minds. So the enemy is going to try to consume our thoughts. He's going to try to get us to think, like I said a couple of days ago, like, you're not good enough. You're not effective. Why would you do this? No, it's not going to succeed. So you have to do whatever it is you have to do to protect your peace. I truly do not think that means you're a hater. I truly do not think that means that you're not happy for your friend or whoever you're muting or whatever, but you gotta put you first. You gotta put you first. So if you are one that struggles with comparison, maybe you've really struggled with it all of your life. Maybe it's something that you've noticed has been happening more often because of whatever reason, maybe it's something that you have overcome, or maybe you're starting to feel those feelings rise back up. I just want to encourage you to have tunnel vision. Do what you have to do so that the mental warfare doesn't take over, because then it's a whole nother ball game, and we have to arrest our thoughts. Basically, we have to take our thoughts captive, and we have to make sure we're allowing the Lord to renew our minds. And comparison also dwindles down the joy that should be attached to what God's doing for us, because you might not be doing what that person did, or, you might not have the same numbers of success that they have or whatever, but that doesn't take away from the things that God is doing for you. That doesn't take away from the things that you can celebrate and be grateful for and thank God for, and realize that you're unique. Like, yeah, they might have succeeded, launching that t-shirt business the way that they did, but you are unique. Like, no one can put your spin to what you want to do. I mean, imagine if doctors had that mindset. Like, there's already so many doctors. I don't need to go to medical school. Like, it's like at the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing under the sun. Nothing much has changed. So we just have to realize, like, if that's what God is leading us to, he's going to supply. He's going to outdo himself. We just have to trust him and surrender. Look at me bringing it full circle. So I hope that encouraged you. Again, congratulate yourself. You finished a week. We are going to start week 2. And you got this. And again, if you fell off the wagon, just get back on. Do not beat yourself up. Do not allow self-condemnation to take place. Just do better for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and keep pushing forward. Talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of For My Sisters with Del podcast. Don't forget to keep the conversation going and use the hashtag #ForMySistersPod on social media so I can see you and show you some love. If there are any topics you'd like me to discuss on the podcast, be sure to email ForMySistersPodcast@gmail.com. I'll see you on the next episode. Love you. Bye.